Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we pull back the curtain on big business, and sometimes we find out that the Wizard of Oz is just a guy with a laptop and a big fan. Today we're re-diving into Mirion Technologies Inc. and their latest announcement that promises to shake things up. So what is the big news? Mirion is getting ready to buy another company called Paragon Energy Solutions for a cool $585 million. This is a pretty big deal, and it's an all-cash transaction, meaning they are paying straight up with money. No stock involved for the seller. They signed the papers on the 24th of September 2025. This filing is all about that acquisition of Paragon Energy Solutions. Mirion Technologies Inc., which we'll just call Mirion from now on, is buying Paragon. They signed an equity purchase agreement, which is basically a fancy contract to buy the company. It's going to cost them $585 million, and it's all cash. The price might change a little bit depending on things like how much money Paragon has in the bank and other typical business stuff. When a deal closes, what the lawyers call working capital adjustments. Mirion itself is incorporated in Delaware, and its stock trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol MIR. It is not as old as some of the giants out there, but it is making its move. Now, buying a company isn't as simple as just handing over cash. Mirion has to get a few approvals. One is from the Hart-Scott-Rodino Act, which is basically an antitrust law that makes sure one company isn't getting too big and powerful. They also need approval from the UV, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, because Paragon has a nuclear export license involved. This also means that no laws or court orders can pop up to stop the deal. And of course, both companies have to keep their promises made in the contract, and the information they shared about their businesses needs to be mostly accurate. To make sure they have the cash for this big purchase, Mirion has lined up $585 million in loans from Goldman Sachs lending partners. This basically means Goldman Sachs has promised to lend them the money if all the conditions are met. These conditions include signing the final loan documents, the acquisition actually happening, Paragon not having any major problems that suddenly make it less valuable, paying the required fees and providing financial information, plus making sure their promises about their business health are true. The seller also has to help Mirion get this loan from Goldman Sachs. Now, like many companies when they announce big news, Mirion also included a bunch of forward-looking statements in here. These are basically educated guesses about what might happen in the future. They're talking about how this acquisition will help both companies, the estimated revenue and profit for Paragon in 2026, when they expect the deal to close, and if they can actually get all the approvals needed. They also mention the possibility that these expected future events might not happen because of various risks. Some of the big risks they point out include whether they can successfully combine Paragon's operations and employees with their own, if there will be unexpected costs from the deal, if they can grow their businesses after the merger, how customers and suppliers will react to the news, and if they can keep their important employees. They also mention economic changes and the possibility that government approvals might not come through or could be delayed. They're basically saying, we hope this all works out, but there are a lot of things that could go wrong. Okay, so that is the main event. The rest of the document is mostly legal stuff and the index of exhibits. This exhibit index does list something called Cover Page Interactive Data File, which is basically a digital version of the report that computers can read more easily. And the report is signed by Brian Schopper, who is the Chief Financial Officer of Mirion Technologies Inc., dated the 24th of September 2025. So, what is my take on all of this? Mirion is making a bold move by going all cash for Paragon. This shows they're confident in their financial position and their ability to integrate new assets. The $585 million price tag is significant, and getting those regulatory approvals, especially the nuclear export license transfer, will be key. The risks they've outlined are pretty standard for any big acquisition. Can they keep the talent? Will customers stick around? These are the immediate challenges. If they manage the integration smoothly and can indeed realize the expected synergies, this could be a game changer for Mirion, expanding their capabilities and market reach. However, if they stumble during the integration or face unexpected hurdles with those regulatory approvals, it could become a costly misstep. The reliance on Goldman Sachs for financing is also something to watch, though it's common practice. The real test will be how well Paragon's business fits into Mirion's existing structure, and whether the promised benefits actually materialize and, crucially, if they can still achieve that without negatively impacting their existing business or incurring unforeseen debt burdens beyond this transaction structure. Alright, that is our breakdown of Mirion Technologies' exciting acquisition announcement. What do you think about this big cash deal? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Corporate Decoder for more breakdowns just like this. And hey, if you want to chat more about these filings or just about the world of corporate finance, join our Discord community. It is linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.